Sugar Ray Robinson walks into a packed Philadelphia press conference where Rocky Balboa is announcing his next title defense when the legend himself stands up and asks one simple question. "Rocky, you really think you could beat me in my prime?" The room goes silent. Every camera turns. Every reporter stops writing. And what Rocky says in the next 8 minutes doesn't just answer the question. It teaches the greatest boxer who ever lived something he never learned in 200 fights. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. November 1977. Friday afternoon. 2:15 p.m. The Bellevue-Stratford Hotel. Grand ballroom. Crystal chandeliers hanging from ornate ceilings. Round tables covered in white linen. Maybe 300 people packed into a space meant for 200. Reporters. Photographers. Boxing officials. Promoters. Everyone who matters in the boxing world. All here for Rocky Balboa's press conference. The heavyweight champion announcing his next title defense. Against Ken Norton. Set for March 1978. Rocky sits at a long table at the front of the room. Wearing his only suit. Dark blue. Tie slightly crooked. He's uncomfortable. Hates press conferences. Hates the attention. Hates the questions that have nothing to do with boxing and everything to do with creating drama. But this is part of being champion. Part of the job. So Rocky sits there. Answering questions. Trying to be professional. Mickey sits to Rocky's left. In his old gray suit. The one he wears to important events. Looking proud. Looking protective. Ready to intervene if questions get too personal or too stupid. Adrian sits to Rocky's right. Navy blue dress. Pearl necklace. Supporting Rocky. Being his anchor. Reminding him with her presence why all of this matters. The press conference has been going for 45 minutes. Standard questions mostly. How's training going? What's your strategy against Norton? Do you think you can win? Rocky's answering them. Simple answers. Honest answers. Not giving them the drama they want. Just facts. Just truth. Then the door at the back of the ballroom opens. Everyone turns. A man walks in. Tall. Elegant. Moving with that particular grace that only great athletes possess. Wearing a tan suit that probably cost more than Rocky's car. Gold watch. Diamond ring. Hair perfectly styled. Skin smooth. Looking younger than his 56 years. Looking like royalty. Looking like exactly what he is. The greatest boxer who ever lived. Sugar Ray Robinson. The room erupts in whispers. Is that Sugar Ray? What's he doing here? Did anyone know he was coming? Photographers scramble. Cameras flash. Everyone's attention shifts from Rocky to Ray. Because Sugar Ray Robinson is boxing royalty. The man who defined the sport. 173 wins. 108 knockouts. 6-time world champion. The fighter other fighters study. The standard every boxer gets measured against. Muhammad Ali called him the greatest. So did every other expert. Sugar Ray Robinson isn't just a legend. He's the legend. Ray walks down the center aisle. Slow. Deliberate. Commanding attention without asking for it. Every eye follows him. Every conversation stops. He's smiling. That Sugar Ray smile. Confident. Charming. Slightly amused. Like he knows something nobody else knows. Like he's about to say something that will change everything. He reaches the front. Doesn't sit. Stands at a microphone set up for audience questions. Looks directly at Rocky. The smile gets bigger. He says, Rocky Balboa. The heavyweight champion. Nice to finally meet you. Rocky stands. Respect. You stand when Sugar Ray Robinson addresses you. Says, Mr. Robinson. It's an honor. Mr. Robinson. Ray laughs. That famous laugh. Call me Sugar. We're both champions. We're equals. Rocky nods. But they both know that's not true. Rocky's the current heavyweight champion. But Sugar Ray is history. Is greatness personified. Is the man every boxer aspires to be. They're not equals. Not really. Sugar Ray is being gracious. Sugar Ray says, I've been watching you, Rocky. Watching your fights. Watching your interviews. Watching how you handle yourself. And I got to say, I'm impressed. You got heart. Real heart. The kind you can't teach. The kind that separates good fighters from great fighters. The room is silent. Everyone listening. This is boxing royalty giving his blessing. This is important. This matters. Sugar Ray continues. But I also been hearing things. Hearing people say you're one of the best heavyweights ever. Hearing comparisons. People saying you could beat anyone. Any heavyweight in history. And that got me thinking. He pauses. Dramatic pause. Perfect timing. Sugar Ray knows how to work a room. Knows how to build suspense. Says, so I came here today to ask you one question. Just one. And I want an honest answer. Not a media answer. Not something safe. Real honesty. Fighter to fighter. Rocky says, okay. Sugar Ray leans into the microphone. His voice fills the room. Rocky, you really think you could beat me in my prime? The room explodes. Not with noise. With tension. The air gets thick with it. Cameras start clicking. Reporters lean forward. This is the question. The impossible question. The question that has no good answer. Because if Rocky says yes, he's disrespecting a legend. If he says no, he's admitting weakness. There's no win here. Just different ways to lose. Rocky looks at Sugar Ray. Then at the crowd. Then back at Sugar Ray. He's thinking. Processing. Understanding the trap. But Rocky's never been good at playing political games. Never been good at saying what people want to hear instead of what's true. So he does what he always does. He tells the truth. Rocky says, that's a complicated question. Sugar Ray raises an eyebrow. How's it complicated? Could you beat me or not? Rocky takes a breath. Says, it's complicated because we fought different weights. You were welterweight. Middleweight. I'm heavyweight. That's a 100-pound difference. So on one level, yeah, I could beat you. I'm bigger. Stronger. Hit harder. Physics says I win. But that ain't really what you're asking, is it? Sugar Ray's smile fades slightly. Interested now. Really listening. Says, what am I asking? Rocky says, you're asking if I'm a better fighter than you. If my skills, my understanding, my mastery of boxing is on your level. And the answer to that is no. Not even close. You're the greatest fighter who ever lived. Pound for pound. Skill for skill. Nobody's better than Sugar Ray Robinson. Not me. Not nobody. The room is silent. Rocky just admitted Sugar Ray is better. Just said it plainly. Honestly. But he's not done. He continues. But here's the thing, Sugar. You asked about your prime. You in 1950. When you were 29. When you were destroying everyone. When you were perfect. And me now. 1977, when I'm 31. When I'm heavyweight champion. That fight, the way you're describing it, that don't exist. Because we're from different eras. Different weights. Different styles. It's like asking if a lion can beat a shark. Depends where they're fighting, don't it? Sugar Ray nods slowly, acknowledging the point. Rocky says, so if we fought in a ring, with boxing rules, with you at 160 pounds and me at 190 pounds, I think I'd win. Not because I'm better. Because I'm bigger. Because physics matters. Because size matters when skill is close. But if we fought pound for pound, if we were the same weight, if it was just pure skill versus skill? Rocky pauses. Looks Sugar Ray in the eyes. You'd probably beat me. Not definitely. But probably. Because you mastered things I'm still learning. You understood boxing at a level I ain't reached yet. Maybe never will reach. The room is dead silent. Nobody expected this answer. Expected either bravado or false modesty. Got neither. Got honesty. Got analysis. Got respect mixed with self-awareness. Sugar Ray is quiet. Studying Rocky. Then he asks, you said, probably. Not definitely. Why probably? Rocky says, because fighting ain't just about skill. It's about will. It's about who wants it more on that particular night. And I don't know who'd want it more. You in your prime? You were hungry. Driven. Unstoppable. But me right now? I'm fighting for something too. Fighting to prove I ain't just a lucky bum from Philly. Fighting to show my kids their dad was somebody. Fighting to make sure my wife's faith in me wasn't wasted. That's powerful motivation. So maybe, just maybe, on the right night, my will beats your skill. That's why I said probably instead of definitely. Sugar Ray walks closer to the table. Standing right in front of Rocky now. 5 feet apart. 2 champions. Different eras. Different weights. But connected by the same thing. The love of fighting. The understanding of what it means to step in a ring and risk everything. Sugar Ray says, you know what I like about you, Rocky? What? You don't bullshit. Most fighters, they either kiss my ass or they trash talk. Try to make themselves look good by making me look bad. But you're not doing that. You're being real. Giving me real analysis. Real thought. That's rare. That's valuable. Sugar Ray extends his hand. Rocky takes it. They shake. Firm. Respectful. The photograph captures it. Will run in every newspaper tomorrow. 2 legends. Different generations. Mutual respect. But Sugar Ray's not done. He says, can I tell you something? Something I learned in 200 fights? Rocky says, please. The fights you're describing, the hypothetical ones where we try to figure out who's better, those fights don't matter. They're fun to talk about. Fun to imagine. But they don't tell you nothing important. You know what tells you something important? What? The fights you actually fight. The real ones. Where real stakes exist. Where you're not fighting a fantasy version of someone. You're fighting a real person with real strengths and real weaknesses. Those fights, those are the ones that matter. Not because of who you beat. Because of who you become beating them. Sugar Ray looks around the room. Making sure everyone's listening. Then back to Rocky. You asked me earlier if you could beat me in my prime. Here's the truth. Doesn't matter. What matters is, can you beat Ken Norton in March? Can you beat whoever comes after Norton? Can you keep being Rocky Balboa, the fighter who refuses to quit, who stands up for his family, who represents everyone who feels like they don't matter. That's your fight. Not some fantasy fight with me. Your real fights. With real opponents. With real consequences. Rocky nods. Understanding. But then Rocky says something that surprises everyone. Including Sugar Ray. Rocky says, "Can I tell you something I learned?" Sugar Ray smiles. Of course. Rocky says, "I learned that fighting the best version of yourself is harder than fighting anyone else. I learned that the opponent in front of you ain't as dangerous as the doubt inside you. I learned that winning a fight is easy compared to winning the battle in your head that says you don't deserve to win. And I learned that from watching you." Sugar Ray looks surprised. From watching me? Yeah. I watched your fights. All of them I could find. Old footage. Grainy films. And you know what I noticed? You were always fighting two opponents. The guy in front of you. And yourself. Your own expectations. Your own pride. Your own need to be perfect. And sometimes, watching those fights, I could see the battle inside you was harder than the battle outside you. Could see you struggling with something nobody else could see. And that taught me something important. Rocky continues. It taught me that being great ain't about being perfect. It's about fighting through imperfection. Fighting through doubt. Fighting through the voice that says you ain't good enough. You did that for 20 years. 200 fights. That's what makes you the greatest. Not your record. Your refusal to quit on yourself even when being yourself got hard. The room is completely silent. Every person processing. This isn't a press conference anymore. This is a conversation about greatness. About what it means. About what it costs. About why it matters. Sugar Ray's eyes are wet. Just slightly. But emotional. Because Rocky just articulated something Sugar Ray felt his whole career but never put into words. The loneliness of greatness. The weight of expectations. The battle with yourself that nobody sees but everybody feels. Sugar Ray says quietly, "How'd you know that? How'd you see that?" Rocky says, "Because I feel it too. Every day. Every fight. Every time someone calls me champion, I feel the weight. Feel the expectation. Feel the fear that I'm gonna let everyone down. That I'm gonna prove all the doubters right. That I'm gonna reveal I was just lucky. That's the real fight. Not Norton in March. Not whoever comes after. The fight with myself. The fight to keep believing I deserve to be here." Sugar Ray sits down in the nearest chair. Exhausted suddenly. Says, "Nobody ever understood that before. People see the wins. The knockouts. The titles. They don't see the cost. Don't see what you sacrifice. Don't see the nights you can't sleep because you're fighting yourself in your head. But you see it." How? Rocky says, "Because I lived it. Different path than yours. Different struggles. But same war. War against yourself. Against doubt. Against fear. That's the real opponent. Always has been. Always will be." Sugar Ray stands. Walks to Rocky. Hugs him. Not a handshake. A hug. Real emotion. Real connection. Two fighters who understand something most people never will. That the hardest fight is the one nobody sees. The fight inside. The fight to keep going when everything says stop. The fight to believe in yourself when nobody else does. When they separate, Sugar Ray says to the room, "You all wanted a story today. Wanted drama. Wanted me to challenge Rocky. Wanted conflict. But what you got is better. You got truth. Rocky Balboa just taught me something I've been trying to understand for 40 years. Taught me that greatness ain't about being better than everyone else. It's about being better than the version of yourself that wants to quit. That's the lesson. That's what matters. Sugar Ray looks at Rocky one more time. Says, I came here to test you. To see if you were real or just hype. And you're real. Real as it gets. You're gonna be a great champion. Not because you're the most skilled. Not because you're the biggest or strongest. Because you're the most honest. With yourself. With everyone. And that honesty, that's what makes legends. That's what lasts. Sugar Ray walks out. Same graceful walk. But different energy. Not superior. Reflective. Thoughtful. Changed by an 8-minute conversation. Changed by honesty he didn't expect. The press conference ends shortly after. But the story dominates. Not, Sugar Ray challenges Rocky. Not, conflict between legends. The story is, two champions discuss the real fight. The story is, Sugar Ray Robinson learns from Rocky Balboa. The story is, greatness recognizes greatness. That night, Rocky gets a call. It's Sugar Ray. He says, Rocky, I've been thinking about what you said. About fighting yourself. About the battle inside being harder than the battle outside. I want to help you with that fight. Want to train you. Not physically. Mentally. Teach you what I learned about handling the pressure. The expectations. The loneliness of being champion. You interested? Rocky says, you do that? Yeah. Because you helped me today. Helped me understand something I needed to understand. Let me return the favor. For the next 3 months, leading up to the Norton fight, Sugar Ray works with Rocky. Not in the gym. In the mind. Teaching him visualization. Mental toughness. How to handle doubt. How to channel fear into focus. How to be comfortable being great. How to carry the weight of championship without letting it crush you. Mickey watches this. Says to Rocky one day, you know what you did, don't you? Rocky says, what? You made Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest fighter who ever lived, your student. By being honest. By being real. By not pretending to be something you ain't. That's power, Rock. Real power. Not in your fists. In your honesty. The Norton fight comes. March 1978. Rocky wins. Unanimous decision. 15 hard rounds. But different than before. Calmer. More controlled. More confident. Not fighting himself anymore. Just fighting Norton. The mental training with Sugar Ray made the difference. Made Rocky complete. After the fight, reporters ask about Sugar Ray's influence. Rocky says, Sugar Ray Robinson is the greatest fighter who ever lived. But more than that, he's the greatest teacher. He taught me that fighting is 10% physical, 90% mental. Taught me that the opponent in the ring is just a test. The real opponent is inside you. And if you can beat the opponent inside, the one outside don't stand a chance. Years later, when Rocky retires, Sugar Ray is at the ceremony. They embrace. Sugar Ray says, you did it. Proved you were real. Proved that heart matters more than talent. Proved that honesty beats hype. Proud of you, champ. Rocky says, couldn't have done it without you. Without what you taught me. Thank you. Sugar Ray says, I didn't teach you nothing you didn't already know. Just helped you see it. That's what great teachers do. They don't give you something new. They help you discover what's already there. The ceremony ends. But the friendship continues. Two legends from different eras. Connected by mutual respect. By honesty. By understanding that greatness isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about fighting through imperfection. Through doubt. Through fear. And never, ever quitting on yourself. That's what Sugar Ray taught Rocky. That's what Rocky taught Sugar Ray. That the real fight is always internal. Always against yourself. Always against the voice that says you can't. And the fighters who win that fight, who beat themselves, those are the fighters who become legends. Not because of their record. Because of their character. Because of their willingness to be honest even when honesty is hard. Sugar Ray Robinson asked Rocky Balboa one question at a press conference. Could you beat me in my prime? And Rocky's 8-minute answer didn't just respond to the question. It revealed a truth both men needed to hear. That greatness is lonely. That expectations are heavy. That fighting yourself is harder than fighting anyone else. And that honesty, real honesty, is the rarest and most valuable thing a fighter can possess. That's the lesson. That's the legacy. That's what 8 minutes taught two legends. Taught them that respect is earned through honesty. That greatness recognizes greatness. That teaching and learning are the same thing when done with humility. And that sometimes the most important fights are the ones that never happen. The hypothetical ones that force you to think. To analyze. To understand what you really believe. Sugar Ray Robinson and Rocky Balboa never fought. But they connected. Through honesty. Through mutual respect. Through understanding that beneath the titles and the fame and the records, they're both just fighters. Battling doubt. Battling expectations. Battling themselves. And finding strength in admitting that battle exists. Who in your life is asking you to prove yourself? To answer impossible questions? To defend your worthiness? And how are you answering? With bravado? With false modesty? Or with honesty? Real, uncomfortable, vulnerable honesty? Because that's what changes people. That's what creates connection. That's what turns confrontation into conversation. That's what Rocky did. That's what Sugar Ray respected. That's what made 8 minutes at a press conference more meaningful than any fight ever could be. The question isn't could you beat someone? The question is are you honest enough to admit what you know and what you don't know? Are you secure enough to praise someone else's greatness without diminishing your own? Are you real enough to say, I don't know, when you don't know? Because that honesty, that humility, that's what separates good from great. That's what Rocky showed. That's what Sugar Ray learned. That's what we all need to remember. Greatness isn't about being better than everyone. It's about being honest with everyone. Starting with yourself.